I'd like to leap nimbly into another minefield, which is the trans movement. You're on record, I know, oh God, you're on record as saying you can't cut your dick off and be a woman, which was met with very huge opposition. Following that clash, I just wondered how you're on record since, the 70s as being very clear on what is a woman and what is gender and what is sex. So it's almost as if the public debate is finally kind of catching up to that. But I just wondered how you respond to the fact that in India, on government forms, there are 3 gender choices, and how does that sit with your understanding?
I'm delighted with that question.
Thank you.
Because it gets close to where I'm really coming from. It is to me extraordinary, but not ultimately surprising, that India was able to do this, and that Hinduism was able to carry this clear truth that there are males, there are females, and there are others. And the others are the people we sometimes call intersexuals. There are people who have ambiguous chromosomal status, and it is wonderful that they are now able to be themselves. But this is a very special destiny. But the fact that you have always had before your eyes the image of the hijra, of the person who is an image of the Godhead, that contains both sexes, that can bless a wedding, and so on. There can also be a damn nuisance. It can be a frightening figure that makes you hustle them out of your shop because your clients are leaving, and they know that perfectly well. These are games we have played for a long time. They are serious, they are painful. But the thing is this: if you're going to accept intersexuality as a special destiny, you don't get rid of it. You don't run along to a doctor and say, turn me into the thing I'm not. I want to be at the other end of the spectrum. Here I have to be a man, I want to be a woman. And if I'm not a man, I must be a woman, because there's nothing in the middle. The fact is we are all in the middle. And I find it so interesting when somebody says, when I was 20, I discovered I was bisexual. You think, what took you so long? We are all bisexual. We all hope that we can make love with our same sex one day. We generally do it when we're in about 5th form, and it generally ends in tears. But we know that there are other forms of sexual pleasure, and there are certainly other forms of passion. And there is also the importance of friendship. But it's when you decide that you need to be turned by surgery and hormones and lifelong medical treatment into the thing you are not, that you're being persuaded to make a mistake that will cost you. It sounds like a ticket to happiness. But those of us who are born women could tell. Of course, I'm not surprised that men are better at being women than we are. They invented the whole pattern for a start. And here we've got men who don't menstruate. There's got to be a plus. Women who don't menstruate. There's got to be a plus, doesn't it? Who don't have to worry about getting pregnant. Remember all that? These are obviously going to be special, glamorous entities, and they've all been presented this way. Whereas the really fascinating thing about the child born with ambiguous genitalia, and this is something that was never in the news in England, is that the EU brought in a legislation that it was illegal to decide what sex a baby was if the question was moot, until the baby was old enough to make a choice. Now, Britain ignored that rule completely, as far as I know. But I think it's fair. It's fair that you understand that these are highly conflicted decisions that you come to. And hair extensions and eyelashes and fake breasts and all the rest of it. We've got women assuming them at the same rate as men are, or faster. These are vexed questions, but to me, it is shocking to consider that the commonest intervention with a newborn little girl is to request the reduction of the size of her clitoris because it's taken as big enough to suggest intersexuality. This kind of behavior has got to stop.
It's